What is this? There's a circle and a line. A circle and a line. We have to solve this guy. You got two equations here that makes a system. We have a linear, and then we have a circle. And they're crossing over each other. And where they cross each other, that's where you're going to find solutions. And so, I don't know if you guys remember. This is the equation of a circle, okay? It's x squared with a y squared and then r squared. It equals the r squared. The x squared and the y squared sometimes have like a minus or a plus in it. Those are just the shifts. That's what shifts the circle around. Okay, in this one, we clearly have a radius of 1 because we have a 1 right there, okay? Because if that's r squared, the square root of that would be 1. Okay, so now what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to find these 2 points. Now, this question breaks it down pretty simply for you. It identifies that one of the solutions is easy to find. It's easily identifiable, and we can see that too. It's clearly -1, -1, this point right here. All right, very easy point to find. It's right on the crosshairs of the grid lines, okay? So what about the other point? So we're going to take the circle equation, and we're going to rewrite it without the y because we have another x expression for y. We can write y as an expression of x, and so we're going to put that in there and so we can solve it. Now we only have one variable. So I'm going to have to do this squared. I'm going to have to go 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. And when I do that, I get 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. And then I'm going to go x plus 1 times x plus 1 because of the squared. Remember, you don't distribute this. That's wrong. You have to write it twice and multiply it out. And when I do that, I get x squared plus 2x plus 1. And then when I combine like terms, I get 5x squared plus 6x plus 2. Okay, after combining like terms, I realize, hey, this is a quadratic. I must set this thing equal to 0 and then use the zero product property to solve this diggity dog. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides to make this dude equal 0. And then I'm going to start my factoring process. There's different methods to factoring quadratics. For this one, since the leading coefficient does not equal +1, we're going to have to split apart the middle term and use grouping. So you could use the big X if you want. The 5 is gotten by going 5 times 1. That's the first term times the last term. And then we have to find 2 numbers that also add to give me 6. And I get the 6 from the middle term. So what 2 numbers multiply to give me 5 and then add to give me 6? Pretty easy, 5 and 1. So we're going to take that 5 and 1 and we're going to rewrite our trinomial so that it has 4 terms. We're going to split apart the 6 into 5 and 1. So instead of 6x, we're going to have 5x and 1x. Then what we do is we group the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms, and we think to ourselves, what can I take out of the first 2 terms? And you can take out a 5x from the first 2 terms. And when you do that, you divide those 2 terms by 5x. We get x, and then we get 1. 5x squared divided by 5x is going to be x, and then 5x divided by 5x is going to be uno. Okay, then we think about the other one. We can't take anything out of this one, so we're going to have to take out a +1. Oops, I messed up my positive there. There we go, it's fixed. Set that equal to 0, and then we finish our factoring business. Okay, we can take out an x plus 1 from each of these terms. You see you have this term plus this term. We could take out an x plus 1 from each of those. And so we get a 5x plus 1. And the other term, the other factor, I guess, is x plus 1. Now, the x plus 1 is the one that we don't really need. That's the one that gives us the -1. We already have that one. We have that answer right here. So we don't need that one. Okay, so let's find the other one. We have a -1/5. Good news is that this one does look like it could have an x that equals -1/5. Now we have to find the y value. So in order to find the y value, you can pick one of these equations in order to find it. You can use the linear equation or you can use the circle equation. The linear equation is obviously the easier one, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the 1/5. I'm going to plug it into the linear equation and simplify it. I get -2/5 when I multiply -1/5 times 2. And then for the 1, it's 5/5. I add those together. I get 3/5. Booyah mooyah. I got my y value, 3/5. And it looks like it works out. Yeah, because that looks like a 3/5. Done.